Joe X is saying it's the first season, but looks like we're getting ready to go live on Granary, and as I say, hopefully there will be someone joining me shortly. But yeah, week 3 this is of the autumn 2022 season. Comedy Shorts Gaming versus 4Fence. Winner tonight will be nicely set in the table. Well, if Comedy Shorts get there, they still have a lot of work to do, but certainly they definitely need some points tonight as we go into this first mid-fight. First thing I'm seeing is a lot of high ground from the red side of the Frenchies 4Fence, but they've had to be pushed really far back. They picked up Connor though with a nice little bomb. Now they're scrapping across the point. A nice little rocket in from Charlie to pick off Deli, who I believe is a Merc coming in tonight. But as it is, it looks like this scout power of the Frenchies is going to take them over the edge, and they keep Juxta alive as well, which is very, very nice for them. Going to give them a nice uber advantage out of that mid. And yeah, when you keep those two scouts alive, they just sat nice and back on the high ground. There wasn't too much pressure. Juxta took a little bit of damage, but the damage was really spread between Deli and the rest of the combo. So they picked up Deli there, a CSG, but they weren't able to get onto the medic, and with that being the case, it means there's going to be full uber advantage here for Fence. They did hear a sniper take a shot. I think it was... I didn't see exactly who it was, but they have now changed off. There is a Brass Beast Heavy up on the pipe, which is Ampis, but it's coming through the left-hand side. It's mostly onto Neo at the moment. Deli's getting involved now, but there's actually a crit Brass Beast coming out, doing a ton of damage and kind of just mincing everyone. I don't know exactly how he got that crits up in time, but very, very fast building. I certainly was not prepared for that, but either way, it did a hell of a lot of work. And now, Comedy Shorts are pushing out to second. Going to take this second cap very, very easily. And yeah, they have a bit of a very slight uber advantage, really not much to work with. They have to clear up these players in the lunchbox area. There's QB and ALX. Both are going to get cleaned up pretty shortly, but it's allowed the Frenchies to push in through May. They've pushed in, they've taken control of the point, but they've kind of got destroyed. A nice little flank coming in from Charlie, and he would have got the kill onto Juxta if he hadn't kill binded. Still counts as a kill, but sadly no damage from the logs, even if it does go down as a kill. And yeah, that does allow now Comedy Shorts to get control of second. Cap isn't going to... Cap time is probably going to fade out before 4Fence are able to do too much with it. Having something sent to me. Apparently, we have Aelkyr is in the mumble apparently, but he can't be unmuted right now, so having a few issues. Hopefully, someone will be able to join and talk pretty shortly here. But as it is settling down a little bit into stalemate. Both of the teams are building up blue, but there's a one pick onto Brunchman. And yeah, here we have Aelkyr, the expert Frenchman, coming in at the last minute. I'm here to
talk about French people and nothing else, so it's going to be a pretty good match for me. Someone more qualified than me might pop in later, and if that's the case, I'm gonna get kicked out. But this is me right now, so talk me through this day. 4 minutes in, 0-0, I assume.
Yeah, 0-0 is a pretty decisive mid-fight victory for the Frenchies, but they did just get destroyed by a crit streak on last, which took me by surprise how quickly it was built. I think it was just down to Connor dying so early on the mid-fight, he was able to build it up super, super fast.
Yeah, and it looks like CSG are back into this game here. They're instantly forcing Jax down the mid, and they're gonna have a much better ability. They have to pop at all, I think. Yeah, Gunnar Smithkin gets back. It's a pretty clean here entry onto mid. They should be able to just gap it for free.
Telly wants to continue the fight. He's gonna zone Fancy off, but he can't get any damage down onto him, missing absolutely everything. Eventually, Alex is able to come in and save him, but they've lost Juxta, they've lost Neo and Brunchman as well, so not the best scenario. Connor's got a full uber advantage. Have to worry about a few explosive gamers just roaming about in random areas, but they've mostly dealt with them for now.
strong recommit out of the Frenchies here, but Connor nerves are still like never pops it, and so it's still a pretty good situation. There's a soldier in on mid, but they're gonna get just ignored. Yeah, they're just like gonna try to leave choke, and it looks like it's gonna be a pretty fat ad. Although it's dwindling for CSG, I should still expect them to push into second hill, into yard at least.
Yeah, Alex just did a lot of work just jumping in behind, turning a lot of heads and slowing them down a little bit. Charlie's trying to bust through the choke here, but he sees a lot of spam coming his way. Takes an arrow for his troubles, so they're able to walk into yard here, get control of that. But as we see, Juxta already up to 90%. They're probably going to be able to hold on to second at least with that Uber now in their hands. And yeah, CSG won't be too miffed about now controlling yard. This is obviously the kind of 7 CP factor that you have, that you've always got to push yard and then push the point, which means you've got to be very, very quick with those advantages, and that time bought, especially from Aelkyr, was pretty important.
Yeah, hold on, is Delhi playing for the Frenchies, right? It's not like a fake nick?
It is Delhi, yeah, he's a lurker.
Okay. Well, should be like a good player replacement, but Charlie goes down to a pressure, I think. I didn't think it was a sack. Let's see if there's like any counterplay coming for fence. And
Yeah,
they're mostly getting stuffed, it looks like.
It was like he wanted to kind of go in for a sack, but didn't even spot Juxta, so kind of just walked in and died to like 4 damage classes in front of him.
Yeah.
Either way, not going to be too impactful. They're still trying to just pressure in through this left side, get some bodies.
And it is a tough point to push out of as well, or like half point, I guess. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like either a reset or like a much more ambitious play, you know, with like more players involved.
Yeah, they're trying to bomb in now, Hordes, but he does just get cleaned up. There's a wall of red gamers to defend.
Ooh, and Charlie gets 2 very nice picks to stem before offense aggression, who has like, 2 picks were definitely trying to do something, but Charlie just stamps on that. And they're still pressuring on flank here, the beam's actually committed. And Connor just drops, it just gets piped.
That was pretty nuts. You know Connor is a ballsy medic, he likes to play aggressive, but he didn't respect Delhi there. Delhi just hammering him with damage as he walked in. Big
just
drop.
saw like the 2 sides of the Connor coin here, I think.
Yeah, when it works, it's epic to see, but you do have those moments where, he just gets a little bit lost in the sauce, and that was certainly one of them. Trying to bust out through into yard now. They've managed to clear that. They still have that Uber in hand. Now
Yeah, they push free up really
well.
well, actually. Like, do it pretty fast. Weber's not committed, so they can go into mid right now. There's some pressure coming out of CSG, but it's not that much. I don't even think they're gonna sack. It looks like they just want to back out. And yeah, it's a pretty much free midpoint as well for offense.
Yeah, not too much to worry about. No hiders, no lamp shenanigans going on, but they're just going to bust in here. They're going to use it onto Delhi. He's going to actually not get too much at all. Aelkyr also went down, I believe, to a trap while that was all happening. So at the end of the day, they get no picks with their Uber. They lose one, and they're just going to have to back up because Connor is coming up to this Uber very shortly.
Yeah, and CSG already committed. They've busted left flank. And it looks like they're just going to be able to take yard for free here. There's a token resistance sort of offense, but it's pretty much just spamming, and Connor is going to try even to run into mid here for Garage with Ampis. It's 2 players. Can they do enough? There's a bomb on Connor. Actually, the rest of CSG are coming in now, and I think... Yeah, okay, Connor has to use for this, but they're chasing really hard.
Yeah, good control of the high ground. They've actually wrapped behind, though. I'm not sure about this by 4 fence. They've got enough players. But the pressure is now coming in. Charlie landing on Delhi, cleaning him up. Yeah, big back cap. It's very, very nearly capped. They've actually managed to get it, and they're running into last. I don't know if there's going to be a spawner.
Yeah, Granary.
They're going to just dive onto the point. It's
oh my god, Uber's in, but there's no way.
Charlie, but he doesn't have enough rockets to deal with it.
Granary's famous for its back caps, and this was definitely like a good example of it. Like, you just like choose to ignore them if they don't like just kill your flank. They can just like get everything out of you because the map is so big and it's hard to come back. Like, Charlie managed, but at this point, like, he had 1 rocket, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, just
1-0 for 4 fence. Yeah,
excellent. Just team play overall. Just knowing that the backup threat was there, knowing that CSG had overcommitted through the other side of the yard through choke, and they just really committed there, making sure they allowed their backup to work in. But now next mid fight, big bomb in from Hordes and Charlie. Charlie's actually got a lot of space now above the choke, but this is a blob of French players. Hordes is body blocked fully as well by Alex. There's still Iho or Nikki looking to get some pressure in. Abs is on the beam as well, but at the moment they're just kind of walking into rockets.
Oh, wow.
Very easy for Alex to just shoot them like ducks.
And it looks like they're gonna settle for the mid here. Very interesting mid. I thought offense were literally like all on high ground at some point. It was definitely like a tough nut to crack, and they got like a demo pick really easy. But then like CSG's like combined aggression was really fearsome, and they managed to like push them back until like a nice rocket from Alex like evens the odds a little. And okay, Alex is gone now. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just got obliterated by about a million stickies. Big bomb coming in from Hordes, but nicely served away from Youngster. Lands on the pack, back at full health already, so no threat coming in towards him. Both the teams a little bit passive. Stickies up on either side of this garage at the moment. There's some space trying to be made. Actually, Brugeman going in through the flank. He's supported by Neo as well. Actually, and they've been able to sneak him in. He's on the backup. He's in behind, looking to backstab some players. Abs has to look for him, but there's not too much coming in from the front, and Hordes destroys him with a nice little close range air shot.
It's a bit of a nut play here, like almost like the front cap, you know, like could be interesting, but very spawner is here. And I'll finish this later. CSG are pushing into mid, it looks like. They're just supporting a sack, or they lose 2 for it. It's almost a good Uber, I think, for offense here. They should be able to chase it. It's only a maiden demo on second.
Yeah, very big commit. Connor and Fancy have been able to get out of there, but they had to commit everyone else. They only got that one kind of trade out onto QB. So it's gonna, you know, they have the Uber, but they're gonna have to wait for spawns, and the momentum is suddenly in the French's favour. Brugeman is trying to get in top to try and get some kind of sack play onto Connor or some sort of pressure. The spawns are up now. They've picked up that one soldier who was lurking, so they can now move back towards second. A good cap play and just good space taken there by the Frenchies.
CSG flooding in now, but there's a Scott ratting behind the crate. Okay, doesn't get Connor. He push out, is still on, and they're killing the soldier on top as well. It seems pretty clean right now. It seems like their gamble has paid off. But 4 fans are coming into the Uber of their own, so it's gonna be probably like another reset, unless they want to push right now, which I don't think they will. Oh, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. They're flooding for trap right now.
Yeah, I don't know if they've counted the Ubers perfectly here, but they do have a pick, but that's a drop, so the Uber doesn't even matter. Juxta and Delhi cleaned up after that drop. Connors picks up the minigun, got 80%, but he's in all kinds of trouble. Alex lands and picks up 3 with huge rockets onto Connor, Abs and Neo. Scrappy fight continued, but Alex has bailed them out hugely there. Neo, a lone survivor on mid for his team. He's got 2 explosives to deal with at the moment, though he has enough health. He's going to run it on Fancy as well, so they're going to actually hold on to the mid fight, and they get those forward spawns.
Yeah, the forward spawns are pretty big here. They probably get you out of it. And can they even get second? It's going to be a bit tricky with the demo man. 4 fans are pressuring right now, fighting the point to get Charlie. And looks like, yeah, CSG are just backing out. It's going to be them running with their tail between their legs here.
Delhi Gigachad just barreling through everyone, knowing there's no demo to detonate stickies on him, so just plowing through forward, trusting.
Really high bomb coming into a shot over from Hans. Gets Delhi and the force here. It's actually like, yeah, that's what he had.
And they drop Brugeman as well, so that's not good. They've lost a lot
Colonel
of players.
Dies. It's so. Oh, Neo just 2-shots Nikki as well. It's so messy. It's like, oh no. Juxta gets caught as well. Unless Alex can clutch his up again. Oh, wait. No one
jumping on the point, but there's Fancy and Charlie to deal with
nice
him.
Shot from Fancy here.
Yeah, very nice pipe. Very messy all round. I gotta feel bad for Neo there. Juxta had absolutely no confidence in. He just let him go, and then he just destroyed everyone. He 2-shot Connor down, he 2-shot Nikki down.
Yeah, I think like the 20 ad of offense was like almost a surprise for the enemies here. They were like sitting up for a really high pressure play, but they just got used on. And then it just like devolved into everything. CSG trying to cap second. Looks like offense are putting up a big fight here, but they do lose a soldier, and spam is really important on this point. So looks like CSG are going to be able to just edge it.
There's a nice little flank from Hordes, but now Aelkyr is the one controlling the Z area. But that's where all the action's been happening just now. Settling down just a little bit, relatively even. There's just a couple of percent in it. And I think both teams will be aware of that situation. So yeah, everyone's just settling down a little bit, getting their spam going. No banners at the moment. It would be probably an ideal time for the banners, but it's been so fast-paced so far. No one's kind of been. I think everyone's been reluctant because of just how much the points have been going back and forth. But yeah, probably the first real stalemate in the game.
Yeah, and it does like make you look at the time in the score here. Falcons are up 1-0. It's the tiniest of margins here, but do you think it's a margin small enough for them to be content?
Yeah, I mean, it's always risky, right? Like, you definitely don't want to settle on this kind of this 1 point advantage, but at the end of the day, they're not going to do anything out of the order.
Gunnar on 10 HP, Gunnar's so weak.
Richmond just found a ton of space, but then just seemed to just get stuck. Like, he was not able to move in any direction, just spamming rockets. Connor was around the corner, not going to do any damage.
Somehow between like Brugman's aim and like spam, Connor was still super weak. It was a bit tense, and CSG don't want to sack here, but instantly taking the flank, and they're setting up for maybe a trade here.
Charlie's in behind, he's getting chased by Alex and Brugman, and Delhi's just able to look forward, knowing with confidence that he's going to get dropped. Knowing with confidence he's going to get dropped from the Uber, and there we go, a nice little classic AMS Uber, going to get that pick onto the demo man with Jackson, not quite having the beam on him at that time, and Charlie is still, he gets a air shot, still alive.
But they're still pushing for Charlie. They're slowly on Gunnar. Gunnar jukes. Okay, I think CSG are able to take this mid here, slowly like, getting the picks, but Fancy dies to Neo. And Wolfens are still fighting here, although they have pretty bad positioning. They get another picks. They're all in garage, but they can probably repush now, and yeah, CSG are just high out of it.
Yeah, surely with these picks it's going to be easy enough. There's these 2 scouts, but not ideal classes to defend this second point. With just the extra HP that's able to muscle onto the point with Delhi and Brugman taking the beam and going forward, just putting spam out along these shutters. And actually Neo is going to try and run in and make some space. QB was finding some space in upper as well, but both just looked and backed out of there. They're in through the left here though, but the bomb is going to probably force Chuck's out. No, he milks very, very aptly, and they've got both of the soldiers onto these pipes. They're taking arrows, they're doing a lot of damage. They got the force out of Connor, but they've had to pay with it with both the soldiers going down. But look how far back Jugster is. They should be able to hold on to this Uber, but no,
because they're so weak. It's gonna be a bit. Yeah, I don't even think they get anything with it. It's a bit of a disaster over here. Very interesting by Forfans. They do like a triple sack, but they take so much space on the icon before they actually commit the lives that CSG pretty much have to use. It's like a good push for them. But yeah, they just get chased a bit too much here, and CSG is sitting with like a 20 eye actually, so they could like, I would assume like they're aware of it, and I would assume they're gonna try to push on it. They're already into yard.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely could have dropped QB though if they'd wanted to. Forfans, they had spawners coming in. Neo was very, very close to getting involved in the action, and then they wouldn't have even had to use the Uber, but it is what it is. They did save QB, they've got the 6 up there. You know, there is, as you say, 20% ad, but look how far back Connor is. It looks like they're not super keen to push it. They probably would build it absolutely optimally. I'm not exactly sure what the situation is with such a small advantage. Probably sensible just to you know, smooth it over, reset, and get set up for this.
Yeah, I was probably too ambitious here. They're also losing. You probably don't want to like, lose a very bad trade and get owned on your second, even if it's hard. Like it's still a roll into last situation. So once again, a stalemate here. This is the only one we've really seen on second, I think, and most of the time it gets sold. So let's see what they pull up here. There's a scout just running in, but apart from 80 damage on the med, I don't really see anything else happening.
Yeah, they lost Brugman as well as QB. QB was kind of the solo sack there, but Brugman got caught. I think that was in the lunchbox area as well, so not ideal scenario. They've got to back up to mid here for Fence, but CSG, they smell blood in the water with those 2 picks. and they're walking in towards mid already. They've got Charlie up on the high ground. They've got Abs far forward. Fancy's found some space around the right as well, as the Ubers are trading out, but Abs has a lot more targets than Neo does right now. But where is Connor going to finish? Did he position in here? Finishes on the point, enough players around him. It's a bit of a mulch actually here, and Connor gets a frag onto Neo as Jugster goes down to Fancy as well. And Connor's just running all the way back to his own choke. There's Deli and Budgeman for him to deal with, or at least worry about. Deli now gets cleaned up, and CSG negotiate that very, very well, though. It did look dicey for just a second.
Yeah, honestly, very impressive. When I saw them like pop first into mid with like, you know, like the forward spawns against them, I didn't expect it to turn like this. But Forfans are still in. They stack 3 pretty much and instantly get Connor. And they might get something else as well. Neo's trying his best, but no. Fancy on the aggron gets it. But yeah, unfortunate for CSG really, because they had a really clean entry, but the triple stack just too strong.
Yeah, they lost Connor, but that was the only loss they had, so it's going to allow them some space. Yeehaw's going to try and run it in. He's going to trade with Deli, which is
no way they get second here with no hills. That would be really impressive. And it looks like, yeah, with a scout on 1 HP, they elect to back up and regroup into yard here. Still an opportunity to fight. There was only 3 players in 4-4 fence, but CSG are opting instead to not be too bloodthirsty and stay on mid. It's also this ad as well, I didn't realize. It's 30 ad for Jugstar here. So they're setting up on mid for, looks like a force of a soldier jumping really high. Or looking at the wrong door above. But Forfans are busting choke right now.
Connor's just spamming really long arrows, but they've got the soldier in behind here who actually gets the force out. It's flashed onto a bunch of players. They've picked up Charlie and Yeehaw for it. But they've actually got hordes in the backlines as well, so that's 3 little picks, but they've lost one, including to a trap, Alex, I think that was.
Yeah, just
going down to the
point.
trap. Now Abs is coming in, full beam on him from Connor. They're looking for frags. He's always searching and hungry for them.
Yeah, and this is danger for Forfans here. Like, they know about like this CSG side. If they like lose too many players in a fight, it's a straight to last push, I think. So they're trying to force as early as possible, and they do get it. Roachman, very nice jump in. And only 1 player dying for Forfans so far. I'm torpedoing into second, shooting at Deli, but Deli's gonna survive this time. And they even get Nikki.
Charlie was waiting for an arrow there, but there was no way that was happening during an arm tube. Either way, they've traded 2 picks for 1 CSG, so they're trying to bust it through the left. It is dry. Jugs not quite up on the Uber. Yeah, I don't know if they're going for a force or just an all-in play, but Charlie lands on Jugs. A nice little serve from him. And Charlie just turns his head towards the rest of the combo with Jugster hit such a nice serve. But how Connor's in a spot of bother here, having to juke his way out through the left side, but very, very well played by the Frenchies, just keeping Jugster alive, keeping him safe, keeping the rest of the boys in, you know, not easily fraggable positions as well. And there we go. They've got themselves back up to a decent percentage. Although Connor's already built it up, so they actually haven't lost advantage
super
at all.
long here, and it looks like Forfans are now knowing this. They're hesitating. CSG are trickling back in, and I think Forfans are going to respect back. They're going to roll back to their own second. Oh, Evo gets committed actually.
Yeah, Abs Uber, it's traded out onto Deli though. It's getting a little bit juggled there by Fancy, and at the end of the day, nothing is doing. No frags are going to be committed during that Uber, but it does allow Nicky some space through the flank. He puts a ton of damage down onto QB, who's just going to have to come off the flank and rotate back to the combo for some heals. Fancy.
And I think there is, maybe desperation is a strong word, but there is a little bit of desperation coming out of CSG with them being around down and potentially being able to equalize that. They're trying like a lot of aggressive plays with those commits into last and those Ubers, but so far none of them have really paid off. They've managed to like stay in the fight, but they haven't really won the fight yet. So I wonder what they're gonna do in this situation now.
Yeah, they do like their solo Uber trades, but we haven't seen too much in terms of sack attempts just yet. This is one maybe for Abs just running in with the beam, but he runs straight into LX's face, straight into LX's rockets, goes down. Fancy controlling the point at the moment, up to an 8 kill streak with that nice little sticky onto Neo, and that's going to allow them to continue pressure.
Enough class perhaps as well to Abs. I know like they used to play Spy, but actually there's a trade going into second here. It's slightly better for offense here. They have to move.
The soldiers, though, are going to land up on top. They clean up Brunchwood with a double, a rocket onto him, one each. Nicky's found some space. He found some pick onto Aelkyr as well. And he, once more, continuing to fight. He doesn't clean up the other scout.
And Charlie's in and gets Vimo. And so it's a straight-on push for CSG here. They're killing Neo. It's only like a Madden scout on the point. I feel like they should be able to get this. Yeah, they just clean it up. And it's a very well-played 1-1 here. They managed to capitalize on the chaos and just keep sending more players in to do like favorable trades. And yeah, 1-1. Pretty well played here.
Really, really nice. Just the advantage they had that they could just continue looking forward, continue pressuring and turning the heads of their French opponents. They weren't exactly sure where the damage was coming in. It took a little bit too long to kill Nicky. You know, too much attention was spent finishing that kill onto him, and then the soldiers just absolutely wrecked havoc.
Yeah, so 4 minutes in, last mid, maybe not the last mid fight, but potentially the last mid fight of this map. And it looks like both soldiers for CSG are in really early. They get 2 picks, and those picks are pretty good here. It's a demo and a scout, I think. Oh, but actually, hold on. Offense are stabilizing, and CSG they're just almost out.
Oh my god, Connor went down to 12 health there at one moment, but he does survive. Junkster in a much safer position back on mid, but the bust with the double scout moving in through that left hand side choke, pick up an easy frag onto Aelkyr, who hadn't got back to his buff, and yeah, it's going to allow them to take control of the mid fight and control this map for the first time.
Yeah. Is it the first mid fight that CSG wins? I didn't see the first one.
The first mid fight was the Frenchies as well, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe like an upturn for CSG. It's even, but they're able to use the, you know, mid platform to like get a bunch of stacks going on. Probably 3 minutes left though. It might be a bit closer. We might see this going to a golden cap, but I don't think CSG are going to be satisfied with just sharing some of the points here, and I expect like some aggressive plays out of it.
Yeah, it was definitely the most aggressive mid they played as well. It was the most successful. Seems to be the story so far that when they have been on the offense, when they have been putting the pressure forward, they've been getting success from it. But that time Neo was a little bit too aggressive, gets caught in choke. Now allows someone to try and come in through that choke, which we're going for a little bit of a fake bomb in and out. Doesn't get any purchase on his bomb at all, so it's just going to back up. Horns, similarly, just not quite landing the perfect hit in his head on that little choke area.
I think for offense, they're content with just sitting here. They're fine with sharing the points. They know like they can like win the golden cap as well. They've done it to TF2 easy like a week or two ago. I don't see why, you know, they're thinking they can't do it again. So yeah, no counter side for them. But instantly a soldier jumps in, gets on Juxta, does 60. Actually does 0. I thought the rocket was close. It wasn't that close. And yeah, so Juxta and his team moving for choke, peeking. Let's see if actually sends one this time. It doesn't look like it so far.
Yeah, Juxta's a slippery little fellow. They can't quite find the rockets onto him today. He's put in some work and just duking and dodging everything, making it very difficult for those soldiers to hit him. But again, we're seeing Charlie looking to get in position, taking a buff. Not sure exactly where he wants to go in from, but he seems to be the one that wants to get aggressive. Bomb coming in through choke. He's going to find a rocket onto Delhi, but immediately
and
arrowed.
also goes in, but gets piped. Ooh, Juxta manages to live on 20 HP here. It was definitely like a very creative stack coming in, but it just wasn't close enough here. And do for offense push now, or are they committed to stalemate? It looks like they're stacking up for choke. It looks like a push to me. Yeah, they're just walking in. Oh, but Colonel and Amps are just running to second with Fancy here, and this could be really interesting here. They definitely have like the capacity to outcap, but so there's going to be a trade over point probably.
Yeah, trade coming out. It's going to be onto Amps. He's taking the brunt of it, but they've got picks onto Aelkyr and Delhi as well. A bit of a collapse here by Forfence, just running back tails between their legs all the way back to the last. They're going to have to set up for him. There's still 5 more seconds on those two
CSG
sports.
instantly in. The heavies out. Can it deny the push? CSG are trying to focus with heavy down, but they're not managing so far. Heavy's still alive. Cleans up 2, at least 1. And it's gonna be, I think, that's it for the map of regular time at least.
Yeah, one last desperate attempt was made and wasn't successful. Full right before CSG, the cap for second is going to come in. So that's about all she said for at least regular time of this map. And yeah, as you say, CSG tried to make it happen. They tried to make that last little push, but I don't think everyone was quite ready to dive in on that heavy. And while they got a lot of damage down onto him, it wasn't quite enough. Push didn't quite work, and it looks like we're going to go to a golden cap.
Yeah, very interesting map so far. Do you think like the Frenchies picked it? I can't remember like what they played against TF2 Easy. Might have been. I think no. I think they won process.
Yes, process.
Yeah. Did they play Granary at all this season? Because it was like a pretty solid performance sort of for offense. I think it definitely looks like they came here to play, and they have a fair amount of like tricks up their sleeve. But to be fair to CSG, it's not like they were lost either. Maybe it took a bit longer to come into this game, but by the end, like it looked really close. Like the Uber they got right before pushing into last was really good. Like with a bit more luck on the dice, it could have been 2-1 for them right at the end. So interesting to see like two teams that are probably like decently high in confidence, right? For offense just based on the results in TF2 Easy and CSG just based off like the upturn. Like two teams are in confidence here. Like, how are they gonna approach this golden cap?
We got information that apparently CSG were the ones that picked Granary according to
Oh,
JMax. So
that's really interesting then. CSG maybe like are feeling a bit more pressure than they're expecting on their map pick. It's gonna be very different from Bagel as well. But we're still in Granary here. We had like a lot of mids. Well, like the mid survived, I thought, which is like a bit uncommon in Granary. At least one mid living. But I would expect like golden cap mids are usually much more like aggressive. I think both teams really want to like commit to that mid trade at the very least if they can't win the mid outright. So that would be my prediction here. A lot of like early aggression for both teams.
yeah, I think teams are starting to get a hang Granary, at the very top level in terms of like fully being able to bait out the kind of soldier double bomb. It's still very, very effective, still very, very high percentage chance of killing the medic, but it has to be timed well. If they go a little bit too early, if it's a little bit too telegraphed, it can just be fully baited out. And as we've seen mostly so far of this game, the soldiers have waited around just a little bit longer than you would sometimes imagine. If anything, it was the faster bomb that we saw on that last mid fight from Horns and Charlie, just both going in pretty much instantly. That was probably the most successful.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna start soon. They're getting the config right because Ams hasn't played this game in a little while, and probably only remember like the old golden cap, which was like infinite. And I for one, I'm very glad it is gone right now, especially on Granary. But yeah, I think. Do you think we're gonna see a crit streak to mid? We've already seen one into last, so there's definitely like room for playing around with it. Or do you think it's not like that good, like offensively? So even if you win the mid, it's not that good. They're starting.
I think there's just so much of the variability in terms of like if your medic gets disconnected, if your medic has to like dive away from someone. I don't think it's super powerful on the mid fight itself, but we might see one later on in the game. We'll have to see. Anyway, golden cap here between Forfence and Comedy Shorts Gaming. Delhi being the first one to mid, coming out on top. Going to pick up a health pack. No damage done to either demos at the end of the day. Big bomb coming in from Hordes, but he does get piped by Delhi, but he's done so much damage that it's easy for Fancy to finish up the kill onto Juxta. Connor now is going to try and survive. There's a flank coming in from Bridgman. There's pressure coming in from Neo, but Abs just destroys both of them and wants to take the fight to QB as well, who is a bit more healthy, but isn't able to bust through that choke. And while they'll get the mid cap, there is a uber advantage fully here for Connor.
Yeah, well played by CSG here. Connor was just like sitting on high ground the whole mid and like wasn't pressured until like the very end when like Hams like just cleaned out something. So definitely well prepared here. They're gonna have like 100% to go into last. Actually, less than 100 here. Juxtaposition is building really well. It could be the last stalemate here. I think like 4Fence are not a team to risk it all. I would expect them to back out, but CSG are still not pushing in. They are going in now. From flank, it could be a wrap.
Yeah, they're in behind already with Abs. The Juxta's not up at the 100% yet. He's going to have to kite forward a little bit. They do get just about in time. Charlie goes down for it. There's flashing an awful lot on the French side here. And they've lost QB as well. Fancy's found a lot of space in this left yard area, but it's the double scouts of Nicky and Abs just mulching everyone, including ALX. And now they're trying to look to continue to pressure forward with that extra pick that they do have up. Yeah, Spam coming in from boards, just trying to find his way in, but now the two scouts are on the chase as well. Enough pressure though from Bridgman, just spamming long range bites. Time and Charlie and Connor both go down. A beautiful little flank from QB, picks up 2 frags for it. Yeehaw's in behind, but he dies to stickies that were perfectly positioned move from Delhi.
That was incredibly clean out of QB here. I didn't expect 4Fence to be this aggressive based on like, you know, like the end of last map, but they were definitely just playing for a golden cap and they are back on like a more front foot sort of system, and it's working off really well for them. I think they're setting up for a push into the enemy second here. There's a sniper in the forward, but most teams usually like go straight to flank, so I don't think that's going to be a big play. They're going through now, right, taking a lot of damage, but no picks yet, and it looks like it's going to be a clean yard push for Fence.
Bait going in through Z, but they're actually just going to go fully in through the far left. They get in very, very cleanly. They're actually going to pop into last here onto Neo. He gets some damage down to Abs, but thinks better of it. Nice little pick onto Haunts in the meantime. Abs actually goes down very, very low, but they don't really get any damage with it. Uber Neo isn't able to escape as well. Trapped off by Fancy Stickies. Delhi wants to continue fighting here, knowing that Connor is up at 100% Uber. Now, they're actually really, really far forward here, the Frenchies. Delhi might even get caught as well. Nice little arrow onto him, it isn't enough to keep him alive. And here we go, CSG, they have 100% up. But Nicky eats a ton of damage from the soldiers that are up above. Surely they will get cleaned up. Aelkyr does go down, but that's about all they're going to get with that Uber as well.
Yeah. Interesting play by Delhi here. I see like the idea, you know, like surely like, you know, if you force them on last, it's really like a good point to force them on, because like pushing out of last is really complex, but you can't be the only one to pressure here and be but no, 4Fence are still, you know, in a good position here. They do have a big ad and they're stacking up on point, trying to remove the stickies to maybe go for a big Uber chase again like we did last time. Soldier through, spots it out, does a ton of damage to the enemy soldier as well. Yeah, Charlie just goes down and 4Fence are in, just like that, going to last. It's a really deep bomb and it looks like, ooh, Connor just survives.
14 health that he was on there.
Escape artist.
Abs and Nicky just land perfectly on Delhi and Juxta and absolutely mulch them. There's a couple of players still up here for 4Fence. Aelkyr always been spotted as well. He's the lone survivor. He's going to back up, trying to be annoying in Lunchbox, but overall that push just completely crumbled when they didn't kill Connor, and then the scout collapse was so crazy.
Yeah, CSG's like recommits have been really clean. I think they definitely have an edge over 4Fence on this department, and looks like they're going to be able to take yard pretty much for free. There is a sneaky Aelkyr getting a pick into Hans somewhere, but it doesn't matter for the ultimate result, or does it? 4Fence are recommitting because, yeah, they all went back for Aelkyr. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, they're actually going to pop in through the shot into yard. There's a frag onto Neo that was very, very nice. Charlie's back on mid as well. Finds beautiful rocket onto Juxta, found the high ground, found the angle to kill him, and now there's a few big picks here. Charlie's going to start the mid cap, but there's 3 red gamers around to clean up. Everyone had gone back to second because of the threat of the 4Fence back up, but that has now been extinguished. They through Abs and Connor are going to try and move in from the high ground, from the boxes, onto mid, but there's a lot of pressure coming in, and Abs just gets destroyed by Bridgman with a huge bomb from him. damage down onto Juxta, but it's not going to be enough. The pressure's still on here. The French is diving forward. Brunchman just lands perfectly onto a rocket, otherwise he would have nuked. But they're just being fully pinned back here, CSG, and forced as well.
Yeah, but Forfen's already almost out here. Like, Charlie somehow gets daily. It's a really impressive play by Charlie. Was been playing really well. The med pick before was also like quite amazing, but ooh, yeah, Bruchman instantly gets Condog. He was hiding around the shutter, it looks like, and it's looking a bit dire for CSG right now. 3 up, they have a full Uber Dizard, and looks like okay, Fonzie is gonna be able to escape. It looks like, but yeah, they're staring down the barrel of the gun here.
Yeah, they do keep those 3 weak players alive, but they've got absolutely no pressure onto Juxta because of it, and that allows them to walk in, take second for free. They still have a very, very big Uber advantage. They're moving in through the left-hand side. They're moving in. There's a lot of damage coming down onto that brass piece heavy of Abs. He's cleaned up in pretty quick time. Charlie in the air and Horde's both very, very low. Have they done enough though? Delhi is going to be cleaned up. There's a last ditch attempt by Aelkyr, but just jumps straight into Nikki, and Jux is going to have to leave alone.
Yeah, once again, it was like post-tuber collapses out of CSG. CSG are very, very impressive. This one's a bit messier, but now they're going to be having a full crit side out of last year. And they're moving into yard. They definitely want to use it fast. I don't think they're going to expect to drop the medic. They just want to get as many frags as possible. Running into mid from choke now. They get a pick and they snipe instantly Delhi with it. I think it's pretty good. Basically forcing Forfen's out of the mid. They will be able to recommit here, but ooh, there's a blue soldier in. Yeah, really high pressure out of CSG here, but oh, they're still coming in. Holy hell.
Yeah.
It's very brave out of them.
Ams's chase onto QB cleaning him up was pretty instrumental as well. They just meant the 2 picks allowed them to just continue to flip forward, but Hordes is flipping a little bit too far forward, gets cleaned up, but they do get the force out, just the pressure of the soldiers staring in the face, and Fancy's able to juggle absolutely all of them up in that choke. He might go down, there's a lot of pressure down onto him. Eventually cleaned up by Neo. They've actually got 2 picks here, and Connor's not up at the crit screen just yet, but with them being locked out of that yard area and settling for this mid-cap, they've got to worry about the crit screen coming up very, very shortly now. Yeah,
very interesting. I think like it's good for CSG that Forfen's used. I know you can drop a med with your crits, but at this level I don't think you should rely on that. Like they could have been able to push right now, but they do not have Fancy, so they didn't choose to like, you know, like soldier crits on Granary Mid, which is probably a good idea. But that means, are they gonna try to do it now with the red team so close to Uber, but basically having it? Or are they just waiting and trying for one of those like post-Uber situations, maybe like, you know, like the crits on last that Connor loves?
Yeah, they're actually just going to pop in through the choke, knowing that there can't be a counter Uber, at least out to them. It's a counter crits, but it doesn't do anything to shiny players. But somehow Telly still gets cleaned up. He's got Connor though for his trouble, so no heals now for the blue team, and no players left either.
Yeah.
Brunchman going huge with his Helix soldier partner. Vulture everyone. There's a couple of survivors. Nicky's just doing a hiding play. Fancy is trying to back up, keep himself alive. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, with both the medics both going down, it's not too bad at the end of the day for CSG. They keep themselves in here, they keep it basically even a slight advantage for Juxta, but
yeah,
you know,
Juxta has been building really well this game, even before like, and I think like they know that they're good at building even before like they were able to like stay in yard and surprise CSG. They could very well do something similar here. It's about tiny bit less than 20. I think it's workable on Granary second if you know you have that. Let's see if I'm right in my prediction. It looks like they're moving in, they're clearing mistakes, but they're also losing time here. It's about 10 ad now, but they're still using it. Neo just runs in, and it looks like CSG did expect it this time, where they all back out and recommit with Uber later, and they get Neo.
Oh, they're going deep with that too,
yeah.
But they're going to pick up Delhi. As you say, Neo was picked up as well. There's a little bit of a scrap with Brunchman finding a nice little trade frag onto Hordes. That was important.
Yeah, Bruchman actually got 2 here. Like, I think Front shoulders are really like the thing that's helping them not completely lose those like bustable collapses between a row. Alex jumping in, trying to defend the high ground, but yeah, against 2 scouts and a demo ultimately ends up dying. The respawners are coming in though for offense. Will CSG have to stay in this fight or they're still spamming?
They're pretty committed here. Abs and Nicky both pretty deep, but they both take a ton of damage. Delhi picking up Nicky, and Connor got picked up by Bridgman as well. QP is going to find Abs, so a little bit of a crumble by CSG. As you say, overstaying their welcome, not respecting the forward spawns, and now Juxta full advantage, and they're already in through yard. They're already putting some cap time towards second just about now.
Yeah, they've had one pullable last push before. Can they have more success with this one? Very interesting out of offense, they always fight mid, you know, like med, no med. As long as they got the forward spawns, they're ready to commit and they're already in to left to the heavy focus, but still manages to escape. Oh, never mind, dies on the gun, also goes down. And they're playing the cap a lot. There's a soldier blocking it, but it looks like for offense with cap point is going to take it. Never mind, I'm speaking way too soon. A very desperate scramble on the point, walks out the way of CSG.
Fancy going huge, just hitting absolutely everything and doing a good job in terms of keeping his stickies on the point, keeping them alive, just about delaying it enough. But Connor did go down quite late as well. He's got a pretty awful spawn. Juxta's going to have a bit of advantage, but Abs and Nicky want to push before either of the medics are in play. Get some damage down onto Aelkyr, but they're not going to find the frag onto him, so they're going to have to settle for control of the yard area. As we say, Connor is at a little bit of a disadvantage. He's built it pretty decently now though, so it's probably not going to be workable by the Frenchies, but we'll have to wait and see whether they're aware of the advantage or not.
Yeah, apologies for calling it a bit too early here. As you can tell, I'm a little bit biased for obvious reasons. But it's also only like 1:40 on the timer, right? So if this doesn't solve itself very soon, we're gonna be looking at the golden mid fight. And for offense, always were, but with tiny ads, they push and they get fancy instantly. So it's probably already pretty good, even though CSG are about to refight right now and get Aelkyr as well.
Yeah, Delhi's got absolutely no escape as well, completely trapped in, but Bridgman's found a bit of space now, but Abs is so healthy, he's constantly on the beam, he's constantly at 185, and Bridgman just gets melted by that scout in his face. Thought he had an advantageous position, but he definitely didn't have an advantageous health situation. There we go.
And with a minute left, CSG, it's their... I think it's on their... they built on their court now for them to do something. And I think they will. I think they're definitely like an aggressive, active team. But it's definitely like all about the scout. Now there's already a soldier in. And they're all busting in. The soldier does damage to the scout, and the scout's also to the demo man while they're in. And looks like both fans, ooh, they get the pull-up fight. So once again, the soldiers combining and cleaning up house, free fights between both of them.
Yeah, and Aelkyr once more lands on top of the combo, but is cleaned up. Nice little bite from Fancy, doing such an impressive job in hitting those crucial close range defensive pipes.
With 15 seconds left, like this play would have been like amazing like 2 minutes ago, but now like it's pretty much over. Connor pops Uber for the logs, and Fancy dies for Deadly's logs, I suppose.
Yeah, just logs, and there we go, another stalemate. Couldn't find a winner at the end of regulation time, couldn't find a winner at the end of 15 minutes of Golden Cap, so we're going to go to one last Golden Mid fight to decide who gets 2 points and who gets just the lone single point.
Yeah, and I think it's very hard to call. Like both teams seems very even matched. It's interesting the Golden Mid fight as well. Like you win by capping, right? So on some maps, you know, you can actually play the cap point and have some fun with it, but I don't think on Granary we're gonna see much of it, you know, because there's high ground overall. And both teams actually going straight into it. They're definitely eager to get this map finally over. And I for one am as well. It's been a really good fight. I'm wondering to see how it ends.
Yeah, it's been, but here we go there, onto this one decisive mid fight as JMX points out, double crit screeg could come into play. We're going to see there.
Fireworks,
Fancy getting,
definitely.
yeah, Fancy getting a little bit early, gets a lot of damage out onto Denny's going to have to knock him down onto the back. The first bomb is coming out of Aelkyr, but he lands on no one. A Horde also lands on no one, so Soldier's not finding any targets just yet. Everyone is still alive, but Delhi is picked up eventually by Charlie, who's found some space. The position for CSG on the point is looks a
So
little
about the
bit
crits
better.
now. Juxta is gonna pop on a Scott, surely. And gets one, but the counter crit gets popped, and I think this is a win for CSG. They just clean up everything.
Yeah, the crits did come into play there, and Abs just mulched everyone, and there we go. The Golden Mid fight was won by Comedy Shorts Gaming, and that is going to give them the Golden Cap victory on the map, and as we say, 2 points to 1.
Yeah, quite a sweaty one, I would say. Definitely didn't expect that out of 4 fans. You know, I placed them at like 5th, you know, like before the season started. I think like they've definitely improved. They've been punching like above their weight, like, you know, over the last couple of weeks now. And 1 point is a bit of a shame, but it was CSG's map pick. You know, I am definitely like interested in how Bagel is gonna happen. I think it's the first time we see Bagel in Prem as well this season.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. It's obviously a new map, not really sure exactly how it's going to go down. It's been played a decent amount in North America, so the teams will have some strats to work with, I imagine. Just
Mhm.
stealing some American strats is always a solid way to go.
Yeah, I know like French people play Bagel in Pugs as well, so it's gonna be like
Yeah, but
oh
before we move on to Bagel,
yeah,
we can talk about some logs at
and
least
they're still
for
loading for
Granary.
me. What do you see?
Well, it's the big chunky combined 45-minute and 50-second log, and the most impressive stat line I'm seeing actually is coming out from Charlie. Top fragging equal with Neo, but both on 37 frags.
Charlie
Uh,
definitely went huge. Like I had a couple of solo plays that were really impressive, but also, you know, like overall played extremely cleanly, I think, which is like very nice to see for a soldier. You want them to like be able to have impact and stay alive if possible, and I think Charlie definitely like did that.
yeah, I mean, Brudgman ended up top damaging with 280 DPM, which is a little bit more than everyone else, but you know, it wasn't not huge jumps either way. The other thing that's standing out to me a little bit is Fancy's stat line of 28 and 15, significantly better than Delhi's on this
Yeah,
map.
you can throw some like uh you know excuses for Wolf Daily because they're merc, but at the same time, like uh Fancy definitely like died way less. Like Daily got caught out in some pretty weird situations at time, and obviously like Fancy didn't. And I think this is like one of the keys of CSG's like return, I guess. You know, they were technically one down, so it's a comeback. I take it. Uh, is that they were able to eventually like grind out those like better like end results of fight, you know, like and then like the game just tickled their way, even though they couldn't really capitalize before the mid fight. The mid fight was also like kind of the same story. They managed to get the first picks, and the first pick they got was the demo. So you know, like I don't know if they know about the crits, but they also get the soldiers just in case, and then like they force them with a point with the explosives. I think, you know, like they seemed a lot more in control by the end than at the start.
Yeah, it's impressive stuff. I definitely think, as you say at the start of the game, there seemed to be a clear team play edge for the Frenchies. We saw that obviously that Golden Cup, that back cup round, was kind of testament to that. But once CSG had got their footing, once they had really kind of warmed up, because they were a little bit ponderous those first few minutes, and once they started getting really, really aggressive, you could see they were really in their element. And perhaps moving on to Bagel now, this kind of all-action King of the Hill style will, while it isn't their map pick, I can definitely see it favouring CSG. They seem to be very, very happy just taking these scrappy fights, and I think on Bagel we're probably going to see quite a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued as well. You know, like like you said, it is for fence map picks, but it's also like some of CSG's like strength that are at play on this map. So I expect like a close matchup, and yeah, I think like it's pretty much a map with like no shenanigans possible as well. I don't really think you can run sniper on it. I don't think you can't even like run spy during the psych waves because it's much bigger than product. So it's gonna be just like the main classes ducking it out in a all-out battle.
Definitely, and it's going to be some interesting things to learn, I think, both about these teams, but also about the map, as we say. First time we've seen, I don't think we've seen it in Prem till now this season, and obviously the first time it's been in a season, so I have to see how it goes. I mean, if it's a scout centric as some of the other King of the Hill maps, I'd probably have to give the edge to CSG because this fearsome scout combo of Nikki and Abs is maybe not the the absolute best scout combo in Prem, but possibly the most scary. Abs just running in with the Uber and Nikki just destroying the flank is always such a threat, and we'll have
Yeah,
to
I
see.
agree, and they combine really well when they like play together as well. Like they're gonna be playing together a lot on this map, so probably more of that. At the same time, I will say Bagel, the middle point caps really fast, so you can definitely have those like, and it's really big as well, right? Like in the center, so you can have those like strange pitch fights where like both teams are just actively, very actively edging it against each other, and that could favor the soldiers as well. And I think on the soldier side, it's more of a 50-50 here. Like Charlie played really well, but I think Alex and Brushman also, like came in clutch at a few times, and they have played together for quite a while. So the coordination could come in into play as well.
Yeah, I definitely think in terms of how in sync they are, Alex and Bridgewood were a little bit ahead of Charlie and Hordes, based on that first map at least. But yeah, we know how much of an impact individually Charlie and Hordes can both provide. But they can both just bring absolutely massive moments. And yeah, we'll have to see exactly how the soldier play works on this map. It's and I think the demos as well, like with the point as it is, with it being this big obstacle, obviously you can just spam a lot of stuff over there. It's probably going to be the demo, the main class that's able to do damage across the point.
Yeah,
Similarly on other King of the Hill maps, but I think especially so on this map. So the soldiers probably keeping the demo in check might be a huge factor.
yeah, demo, like on Cuff, it's always a factor, and with like, like such a difference in depth on the last map between like Fancy and Delhi, this could like come into for offense like demise if like Delhi is not able to like match Haunt. Like they're gonna be lagging behind in hill so much. Sorry, not Haunt's Fancy. But looks like we're about to find out. Here's both teams ready up, and game is afoot.
Here we go, second map of the week 3 fixture. Comedy Shorts Gaming against Forfeits. Comedy Shorts Gaming took the first map with a golden cap, and now we're moving out onto Bagel with Delhi, the first person to the mid fight, with Scouts following up. Not too much happening just yet. Charlie providing some space in his bar, just spamming stuff out, but soldier duel actually here. Baruch will get picked up by Nicky with the help of Horde. So Nicky's got a double frag there with Neo going down as well, and the French is going to have to back up, aware that Nicky's in the backlines, but Fancy's going to clean up ALX, and really impressive focus fire. Oh, a really long range rocket out to Kiwi wasn't quite enough to take him down, but just absolutely nothing happened at all for Forfeits on that mid fight.
Yeah, CSG came in with a plan here. They busted flank and got 2 free frags out of it almost, and Volpens just had no other choice with the back, but which reminded to do to their credit. They're going back in now, through concrete, and CSG are not really contesting them, and it's probably going to be a trade over points here. I do wonder if we're going to see some soldier aggression. There is a soldier fighting the red house here. It gets cleaned up by the flank. Blue house, my bad. And yeah, CSG are using this aggression here, and they get the Uber out first.
Yeah, big one in for Boards is going to take that Uber out. Yeehaw does get cleaned up in the backlines as well, but Connor hasn't even had to pop. Taking a bit of damage. Aelkyr is now in a flank position as well. The moment they're just settling for the double scout on the cap, but now suddenly Abs is really far forward. They're able to block the cap again without preserving that Uber absolutely perfectly. Just as of now, and Abs again just standing around the point. Now the Uber comes out, but Charlie has gone down. They've picked up Delhi in the meantime, but Abs finds just one frag on Debridgement at the tail end of that. But at the end of the day, the clock has been ticking down for CSG pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, and the insane aggression out of Amps just cleans up Juxta and Cubby. Like, basically in their spawn, almost in the lobby. I think it's a very well played performance of CSG so far. They don't care about, like, you're going for trades and stuff like that. They just care about the time on the point. And so, you know, like, they managed to keep the Uber for so long. And then, like, cherry on top at the end of, like, an Uber that wasn't that impressive, they still get the enemy met, so they still have had. It's gonna be a bit tough for offense to come back with this.
Yeah, I think similarly to us, the Frenchies were just expecting CSG to settle down there after that. Uber hadn't found too much, but they took their foot, continued to push down the accelerator, which was actually found a nice little pick on the fancy here, which is going to open some things up. They've just capped it out, very, very neat sneak up in front of them. But they've backed up so far back. On top of that, they've just given the points straight back, so it's just literally 3 or 4 seconds of time in their favour, and then it's straight back to CSG.
Yeah, interesting play of offense where like it looks like they're doing a cycle on the med, but they actually, you know, sacrifice one soldier to make everyone look back and then just like kill the demo and get the point for free. You know, it's even Ubers here. Last time it was even Ubers, didn't really work out for them, but this time they're taking their time, they're spamming a lot more. The point is still ticking, but I expect them to do something pretty soon. And Delhi dies before the trade happens. It is a trade this time, but it's not looking super good for offense once again.
Yeah, they got Nicky at least before the trade. Before he was able to get flashed. They busted through the flank as well, actually, QB and Bridgman. Bridgman gets cleaned up. They do have Aelkyr though, he's bombing in now, he's going to be helped by QB as well. They're not sure which target to go for though. They dived onto Connor, who hadn't taken any damage from the soldier bomb. Really just disconnected, disorganised, and nothing to show from it.
And CSG are moving back in there with a really deep soldier bomb onto Juxta with 60 from the point here. They do claim the soldier, but they lose Delhi for it. And now Nick is in. They're all in fact, and it's probably like, oh, Juxta, juking and dodging, no way. Charlie finally cleans him up. And it's gonna be almost a wipe for offense here. Brave attempt from them, you know, they managed to like, play flank wall. They noticed that Nicky was down at the start, but then like the recommit for CSG was just too strong, and with 4 seconds on the clock, they need a short miracle here.
Not gonna happen this round at least. Gonna be a very decisive round for CSG. Just pretty much always had their opponent's number. Just dominated mid-fight, aggressive all the way. Never took their foot off their opponent's throat. And yeah, the French is gonna have to find something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, as we see on the next mid-fight, both teams spamming once again. CSG actually taking a decent amount of ground over the midpoint, but it's not capable just yet, so it's not that worth. It looks like they're definitely like going to try and play the cap, but the aggression for the house gets Hans and gets people looking, so offense able to like capitalize on this and take the fight to them even more. Still very even so far.
Bridgman found some spaces jumping on top of the point and shooting rockets directly down on the combo of CSG, but they haven't got any frags to show for it, and QB going down and Aelkyr being cleaned up eventually now is going to put it very much in CSG's favour. They're able to flash just about everyone in that Uber. They're not going to have a longer Uber, but they're going to have 2 picks at the tail end of it. Charlie's actually got in the backlines, and he's sniped Juxta as well.
It's such an important pick, yeah, like... Once again, for offense, finishes later, Delhi's in. It's like they're all committing for Connor here, and I don't think they get really close. I don't even see where Connor is. He's all the way back there. But yeah, for offense, I think we need to solve the issue of them popping first here, because they can't really like get to Connor fast enough, and then you know they have to leave and they get caught during the retreat, and now they have to break a forward hold.
Yeah, cheeky little forward hold, just the demo locking down this one kind of main choke point, but Vince Alex is just in straight in, lands on top of him, pushes him back, and they force everyone back from CSG, but very, very well, like swiftly just retreat there from CSG, keeping everyone alive, continuing to put out spam. The spam war so far in this game has just been dominatingly in CSG's favour. They've done such a good job of keeping all their people peaking, keeping them all sending explosives at their opponents and just whittling their health down consistently.
And Juxta is getting quite spammed too. Has to go back for the back once again. The spam is just too strong, you know, and they even get a pick. You know, they're really doing well here, CSG. You know, they have a point. They could be playing a bit more on the back foot, but clearly that's not in their plans, and they're just getting so much time off. Offense, and you have 6 seconds of the clock right now.
Yeah, everyone for full fence is just so scared because they never have a buff. They're always just denied any kind of buff or any kind of heals because of the impressive spam being put out to them. And full fence, they can't really muster anything kind of aggressive, and they lost Delhi, Alex and Brunchman, both their soldiers and the demo now, just gonna have to back up to their spawn and yeah, reset a little bit, go again, but as it is now, it's just a wall.
Yeah, if you didn't tell me, I would have thought that, you know, the map picks were like the opposite way, because CSG are just like not letting go right now. They crunch the flank when they try to go behind. And, you know, like the forward hold is just there to like make them lose a bit more time. 30 seconds left on the clock. Full fence, trying to move in once again. This time, Connor pops out as a trade unfolds. And they do get a pick out of Charlie here, so probably like a bit better for full fence now. So
Gets launched, but is able to escape across the top of the point. Nicky does get cleaned up, but it's traded out Delhi for it. Now Big Bomb coming in from Hordes, gonna land on top of Juxta, not find the frag onto him, but Abs is more than ready to clean that one up, and Connor's just gonna have to run back. He's a little bit in peril, but he does have Charlie here to defend him. Whether he wants to stay or not, we'll have to see, but they have
Charlie
three full minutes to work with.
snipes Alex out of the point, and now they have like longer spawn times. Spawn times aren't that long on this one, but it's overtime for CSG. It's gonna be a bit tough. They also have like some form of that to play with. It's gonna be a bit tough for offense, but they do start it really well with very nice freshman aggression into Nikki.
Yeah, Charlie is going to survive all of that. Actually, Bridgman couldn't find a rocket onto him, just running away with the pickaxe. And Abs is now busting through the left-hand side. Oh, but the mid's actually knocked away from him. But Charlie is able to land on top of him, not find the frag either, though. Juxta staying alive as it is.
Yeah,
and Nicky and Connor are going to have to run back. Abs is cleaned up. And just for now, just for the first time, really, a little bit of a stutter out of CSG, but as we say, they've got many more attempts to try and make it happen.
I'm not sure. Oh, the trade comes in instantly. Nikki trying to catch players off, and Dolphins were all really close, so even though they pop later, they drop 2 in the confusion. It looks like if CSG can collapse, it's gonna be probably a round here. Neo gets Nikki, and they're fighting the point, but Neo gets another one as well, actually. But I think that's gonna be it, unless Alex can massively clutch up and just gets shot by rounds. 2-0 for Comedy Shorts Gaming, that's their name, right?
Comedy Shorts Gaming, yeah, CSG.
Yeah.
2-0 up already, and yeah, impressive stuff so far. Signs that maybe full fence are starting to get back into it with that last minute or so of pretty solid gameplay. But
tell you what, I'm surprised we're not seeing attack plays here. I feel like this would be good for offense. I guess, you know, they are believing in the momentum, like you said. Second one was better, but I feel like when you're, you know, like 1 round away from elimination or losing the points rather, you know, it's a bit too late for that. And the next mid is up, and they get the first pick, and they manage to kite the Hornspawn really well. It's looking pretty up for offense. Maybe I am wrong and actually be a caster.
Well, ANX doing some good work this mid fight, but it's Brunchman, the other soldier, jumping in and finding a nice little perch spot and some long range rockets, pushing the Comedy Shorts gamers back, almost back to their own spawn now. They do have that Uber up, but Juxta has one in hand just as it is. and they're going to just play very, very aggressive. Milk Uber just enough that Deli is going to have a longer Uber, but Nicky's trying to get some damage down onto Neo in the meantime. Juxta's finishing in a really poor position and a great collapse by Horns, and Charlie and Fancy just all collapsing damage down onto Juxta. Abs is smashed miles in the air but will survive it, and a desperate attempt.
French full commit is in, and Velvet's got directly on the med, it works out. I think, yeah, strong performance for 4 fans right now. Even though like they couldn't get the med out, it looks like, you know, like they are like much more resilient to the CSG like aggression. They managed to like absorb the bombers in and get like good picks off of them without like compromising too much damage for it. So yeah,
got a minute off the clock. Strange to see as well that CSG, they were under no concern in terms of getting any caps over there. They're just happy to go back, pick up their medic, pick up all their buffs, and with it capping so fast, they're able to cap it before the spawners even came up there. But we're seeing actually the French is trying to bust across the point, but QB gets picked up with 3 players diverting their attention to the left-hand side. Whole con is so low, just spinning around the point, eventually cleaned up by ALX with a nice little long-range rocket, and he's going to get picked up, but Juxta has kept himself alive, so they will retain a big chunky advantage.
Yeah, interesting who, like, I definitely didn't expect like Connor to get pressured this hard, and I don't think like CSG were either. But let's see how it works out later on here, because 4 fans, they managed to clean up the lead. Actually, never mind, Pushman gets the trade. It's definitely like looking up for them.
Yeah, Hordes with a big bomb onto Juxta, but 3 players down now for the Frenchies. They're trying to take the Uber in. They pick up Abs, but Nicky is alone onto Juxta.
Yeah.
He's cleaned up, just didn't have the players to deal with it. Butchman lands on top of Nicky, trades for him, but not what they would have wanted at all, their 4 fans.
No, I don't think that was in the plans. And CSG now in a pretty good position here. They have like a sizable ad. We haven't seen a lot of like ad pushes on this map yet, but I think, you know, with 50 ad we might very well see one, unless 4 fans decide to like do an all-in, which they have done, so it is possible. CSG moving in now. Charlie managed to get like an instant ping into QB, it's pretty impressive, and jumps behind. Will the crunch happen? There's a Scout and Juxta. Wow, that's a pretty strong player of CSG here. They don't even need to commit Vivo.
Yeah, they're going to commit though, they're going to continue to go forward. Just Charlie's still alive, did so much work in that fight. Just did so much damage to everyone, kept himself alive in the backlines, turned heads. And then Connor's actually just running down straight at QB. Absolutely no fear coming out of that man. A bit of swaggering on his opponents, but as it is, 4 fans continue to try and pressure, but they know that Connor's got that Uber and the Connor's out onto Abs.
Yeah, they realize that the 4 fans players are all so close, and even though they don't get Juxta, they get 2, and 2 other players are very weak, and I think one of them is even behind, so it's gonna be a bit rough. Ooh, Alex does get MPs for 24 seconds on the clock.
Oh, but he wasn't able to get onto the health back, and Charlie found him. But now Charlie's found his way up through the drop down through the vent, lands onto Juxta, continuing to stall any aggression that 4 fans wanted to make happen. And now they've just got 4 players alive, 4 damage classes to try and make a play onto Connor.
Yeah, Neo goes down. Those Charlie picks onto Juxta have really, like, you know, stamped on any like 4 fans aggression this map. You know, I think as like we see the last like fights play out, unless like a big clutch happens, you know, like it's probably maybe not. Actually, there is. I didn't realize there was no med on CSG. I should look at my HUD.
Yeah, QB getting the B were just about enough to clean up both the soldiers and get control of the point. There's a minute and 30 to work with, so they're going to have to win a couple of big fights here. But they do have a little bit of an Uber advantage, so CSG, they're going to have to see exactly what they want to do. They probably just want to bust and take it dry as early as possible, but it can always be a bit risky in terms of committing too hard and trying to move through their right-hand side. But ALX and Punch would both find picks. And
yeah, this is part of CSG. I think, like, I don't think the forward hold on this map is that strong. Maybe they didn't expect the Frenchies to stand and fight so much, despite their reputation. But I think like they definitely like could have done better, and now like it's looking a bit dire for them. Viewers are equal. This is like the blessing in disguise for them is that they have time to build, but Forfans are still holding really close, and there's only 50 seconds left.
We're going very, very low. Aelkyr as well. Both the soldiers basically out of commission for a few seconds here until they get arrows, and the Uber's coming out onto Abs. He's got a lot of targets to chase. Pepper's mostly down onto Delhi and now has to back up. But now Nicky is going to be able to run in towards the point as the Ubers have come off both teams. Delhi launched a mile in the air. He's knocked out of the fight
So
completely.
much damage on CSG though. Zach Forfans are gonna... Ooh, actually it's a 4-on-4 here. CSG maybe with better spawns here, but their soldier is getting absolutely slammed. They can't land on the high ground here. The Scots are trying their hardest and looks like they're managing to force them off the point, but still no kills. It's so long and drawn out. More players commit. Oh my god, CSG just forces them off the point.
Yeah, they did such a good job of controlling the high ground QB and ALX, but wasn't quite enough. They took a little bit too much damage each, and then just as they pushed themselves forward, their CSG, the cap time was enough, and with the super fast cap that this map is, it was enough to take them over the edge, and they end up with a 3-0 win. But yeah, definitely, I think if that game had gone on a bit longer, it might have been. It was getting closer and closer as it progressed, really.
Yeah, a bit maybe unfortunate to the Forfans. At the same time, it is their map pick. Like maybe they could have expected maybe like a bit more. I mean, I definitely expected for them, but we do have logs, right?
We do
Nice.
have log.
And I'm telling you, there's a casual 420 DPM on the scoreboard, and it's not by a demo man. Nikki 28-9. I mean, obviously, Scott's on golf class on golf map, but definitely like a stronger performance than the French Scott.
That's that's a pretty nuts stat line, I gotta say. So much damage. And yeah, not taking as much of the beam as Abs, not taking as many of the Ubers as Abs, but absolutely wrecking havoc through the flank.
Actually, I think you can also like see probably like a big part of why this game was won. Look at like the medic deaths.
Yeah, Jugs done 9 deaths, Corn Dog 3. Corn Dog doing a great job in terms of like playing the aggressive style, never baiting, but really making the most of it, using his mechanics to get himself out of any trouble that was there for him. And yeah, I mean, he put in a good showing. I think they really kind of stuffed Delhi. Delhi was not able to really have much impact at all. The game ended up with basically barely any frags, not too high in terms of the damage as well. But
yeah, I don't want to throw the blame too hard, because like when you're losing 3-0 on Cuff, like you will ultimately do a lot less damage. Like it's just life. But it's true that like like when CSG like collapses, like Forfans just like all over the place. Whereas like when Forfans collapses, CSG, like they manage to like stay and form some sort of a blob, and like keep their demo and their med more healthy, if not alive.
Well, yeah, every time there was like just one pick, and especially when there was 2 picks for CSG, they just continued to push forward. Pinned Forfans to either retreat all the way to spawn or get wiped. And yeah, those scouts just going absolutely huge. The damage output from the scouts is crazy. The fact they both put out so much, and Fancy doing a great job as well. And even Charlie, 4 big damage outputs at the top of the scoreboard for CSG was a big factor, as we talked about that spam as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like especially when you consider like the fact that playing soldier on this map makes you very like heal adverse. I think like both your demo and like both your Scots are ahead of you in like the healing order. I think like CSG soldiers being like both positive is quite a rare sight on Cuff. We're not going to see that too often this season.
Yeah, not something you normally expect, but you could definitely see Charlie knew how to play the map. He knew pretty much every time where to land, where to shoot the rockets. He was just always landing the most awkward, almost like when Captain was playing at his best, he would always just land in those those perfect spots, and Charlie's
Mm-hmm.
just doing such a good job in terms of controlling the map, in terms of
Yeah.
where he landed his bombs.
Maybe, had an American informant on the payroll. But yeah, I think uh, that's it for me for Bagel. I don't really have anything more to say. It was definitely like an interesting game overall. I think offense, like I don't know, sound too negative about them right now because they did lose map 2 pretty hard. They definitely came into this game as the underdog, I think. Would you agree?
Probably, but I mean, they'd possibly been more impressive in the first 2 weeks. So,
Mm-hmm.
on paper, they don't quite have as much firepower as CSG, but I think they showed they can hang, but perhaps not. Perhaps not on the King of the Hill maps.
Yeah, I think like like they still get 1 point. It's not nothing out of it, and I think yeah, it's still. I agree with you. It still counts as like like part of the upward momentum since the start of the season. Uh, and I think they're probably gonna think they could have gotten more. They could have gotten 2, or maybe even 3, but it's still like I think a good result for them. I don't think they'll be like like all like sad and depressed in the Rumble after this. It's gonna motivate them to try harder, and like this season is looking more and more complex as it evolves. I feel like the hunt for playoffs is gonna be super close.
Yeah, definitely a lot of teams in with a show, and we talked about CSG needing the points here today, and
Mm-hmm.
they certainly took it. So wrapping up, 5-1 victory overall for CSG. They take the first map in a Golden Cap and they clean 3-0 on the second map over 4 fence. And that was our week 3 of E2F2L Autumn 2022 season. I've been Dave, joined by Aelkyr at the last minute. Shout out to him. And it was J-Max behind the camera. Good night.
Good night.